I am Usha Rodriguez, and I have the honor of serving as the Dean of the School of Law. Welcome to the commencement exercises for the University of Georgia class of 2025. May I please ask that you ensure that your cell phones are turned off or placed on silent. I think the graduates will tell you I'm not afraid to confiscate a cell phone. As you are able, I invite you to stand for the national and state colors and for the national anthem presented by Ms. Lauren Harder.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. You may be seated. Judge Baker, Provost Hu, Mr. Lee, distinguished guests, graduates, parents, colleagues, and friends. Once again, good morning. My name is Usha Rodriguez, and I am so pleased to welcome you here for the commencement ceremony today. Members of the class of 2025. Hi. Welcome to the end of law school. Graduations are joyful times indeed. In fact, many of us at the law school say that this is the best day of the year. But it's also a strange time. It's a time of transition, a time poised between yesterday and tomorrow. It's also a time when you walk around in medieval robes and velvet hats. I've seen hundreds of graduates walk across the stage, and it's always the same. You feel a little awkward, a little self-conscious, a little like you're playing dress up. You had a similar feeling of self-consciousness 2 years and 9 months ago when you came to the law school. Maybe you spent time picking out your clothes for the first day of orientation. Maybe you threw on the first things you found in a total panic. No matter what you were wearing, the feeling was one of excitement, fear, and anticipation. You were not sure what lay ahead, but you knew it would be hard. Oh, how right you were. Law school challenged you in ways you never dreamt of. I'll tell you something funny. I've been talking to a lot of alums the past few months, a lot of alums. And they all have these incredibly vivid stories about law school. Sometimes they talk about the time they answered a cold call and really nailed it. Mostly, they remember when they were unprepared or got the wrong answer, or one of their friends did, and how a tough professor made it clear that their response was unacceptable. Truth be told, sometimes that tough professor in the stories was me, or one of the other professors you introduced your families to last night. But the remarkable thing is the fondness, the relish with which those alums told me their stories of a cold call gone wrong, how they learned from their mistakes, how they learned to be prepared, how they learned to come to class on time, how they learned to think on their feet. The first semester of your law school career in particular was about just these kinds of learning experiences. That part that everyone told you where you were learning how to think like a lawyer. You plagued friends and relatives with hypotheticals and stories that they didn't really understand. But you were learning. Even by second semester of your 1L year, you were more confident about what law school required. After all, we won a national college football championship. How bad could life be? 2L and 3L added challenges like moot court, mock trial, journals, clinics, externships, and leadership in our schools' student organizations. At some points, I'm sure it felt like law school would never end. But looking back, didn't it also seem to fly by? And now that's all over. You're at the end. After 3 years of stress and work and struggle, you've finished one phase of your life and you're on the cusp of something new. And you're wearing these medieval robes. Last month, I attended a law school reunion for the class of 1965. They were all in their 80s. Think about that. They had only been together for 3 years of their 84 years on this earth. Only 3.6% of their life spent together. And it was truly remarkable to see how much those law school bonds meant to them, how meaningful they remain to them to this day. And their stories about professors, all long gone from those law school days, were as vivid to them as your stories are to you right now. Your law school experiences are something you will carry with you for the rest of your life. You've had 3 years of our faculty and staff pouring their attention, their care, their knowledge, their love into you. And so let's take a minute to thank the faculty and the staff. And while we're thanking people, I've been talking to you graduates as if it's just you and us, members of the law school community in this room here today. But like I said, this is a time of transition. This is a time when we give you back to the world, including to the family and friends who have supported you through this long and arduous journey. So would all the parents of graduates please stand if you are able? Wait, no, don't sit down. Don't sit down, no. Stand standing. Would all the spouses and significant others please stand and remain standing? Grandparents, siblings, relatives, friends, please stand. Class of 25, let's give them a round of applause. Now let's get back to these robes. When you zipped up your gown and donned your hood, you were connecting yourself with both the past and the future of Georgia law. Academic regalia traces its roots back to the 12th and 13th centuries, when universities first emerged in Europe. Back then, scholars' long robes and hoods were simply practical. The gowns kept them warm in unheated buildings. Over time, the robes became symbols of scholarship, and today's academic regalia honors that tradition. With the purple chevrons on your sleeves representing the law, and your hoods bearing the University of Georgia's colors of red and black. The class of 1965 wore the same robes you're wearing now. Well, not the very same ones, don't worry, but the same kind of robe. And if you go back and look at pictures from past class years, all those graduates put on robes like the ones you're wearing now. And so will next year's class, and the class of 2035, and the class of 2055. The robes you wear today bind you to the past and the future of Georgia law. I've been thinking these kinds of thoughts a lot because, as many of you know, this is my first commencement as dean of the law school. It is a proud time for me, made more special because I taught Section X as first years and have come to know so many of you as 3Ls. And now it's time for me and for the law school to let you go. But UGA Law will always be here for you, no matter where you go or what you do. Just as I know that wherever you go, you'll take the past, present, and future of Georgia law with you. Make us proud, class of 2025, and congratulations. Now, at this time, I am delighted to introduce the class of 2025 president, Alexa Hernandez. Alexa Grace Hernandez attended the University of Georgia as an undergraduate student, earning a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and International Affairs, along with a Public Affairs Professional Certificate in Applied Politics. In law school, Alexa served as 3L class president, president of the Sphinx Honor Society, and the executive online editor for the Georgia Journal of International and Comparative Law. She was also an academic assistance tutor for 1L students and actively involved in the Public Interest Law Council, the Hispanic and Latino Law Student Association, and the Georgia Association for Women Lawyers. Most importantly, she proudly served as a circulation assistant at the Alexander Campbell King Law Library. After graduating law school, Alexa will join the Georgia Lottery Corporation's legal team in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Dean Rodriguez, for that very kind introduction. And before anyone asks, no, I do not know the winning numbers, unfortunately. Good morning, everyone, faculty, staff, family, friends, and most importantly, my inspiring classmates of the class of 2025. It is an incredible honor to be speaking with you all today and to welcome everyone to the University of Georgia School of Law's graduation ceremony for the class of 2025. I am so proud of our class, and I know you all are too. Before I say anything else, I want to take a moment to offer sincere thanks on behalf of our class and to recognize some important people, as this room is full of them. To our Dean and Administration, thank you for your leadership and your belief in us, especially when we didn't yet believe in ourselves. We were fortunate to learn under two incredible deans during our time in law school. Dean Rutledge, I don't know where you are, somewhere. Thank you for your decade of dedicated service and for guiding this institution through much of our journey. Your legacy of excellence shaped the foundation of our experience. And to Dean Rodriguez, thank you for stepping into this role with the care, wisdom, and deep understanding that comes from years as a professor. We are grateful to finish our time here under your leadership. And to our professors, especially those teaching Section Y, sorry, I'm a bit biased, thank you for challenging us, right? Thank you for challenging us from day one and shaping us into future stewards of justice. And a special thank you to Professors Wells and Coonan, whose final years in the classroom were part of our first. Your impact will stay with us long after your well-earned retirement. And to Professor Coonan, it was criminal we had to endure your cold calls at 9 a.m., but I'm a better lawyer because of it. And to the staff, the people who answered our panicked emails, helped us plan last-minute rooms for lunches and events, fixed the printers during exam chaos, and greeted us with kindness day after day, thank you. You kept this place running and reminded us that we weren't alone, even on the most stressful days. And as someone who worked in the law library, I saw firsthand just how much care and effort goes into creating a space where students can focus, feel safe, and be supported. You helped make this school not just a place where we studied, but a place where we belonged. And to our families, my parents, Carlos and Sheena Hernandez, friends, mentors, alumni, and everyone who supported us outside these walls, thank you for being our lifelines. You listened to our late night rants, reminded us of who we are when we forgot, and believed in us when we were running on empty. Whether you were cheering us on from near or far, your love and encouragement carried us through the long nights, the hard exams, and the moments we weren't sure we could keep going. We couldn't have done this without you. Now, to my fellow graduates. When I look out at all of you, I don't see just a group of law students. I see a community defined by grit. Grit is passion and sustained persistence applied toward long-term achievement. It is not intelligence, nor talent, nor even luck that predicts success. It's grit. And Lord knows if the last 3 years have not been evidence of that, then I don't know what has. We didn't just survive law school, we endured it. We adapted, we failed and recovered, we cried and then outlined, cried while outlining, and we doubted and then kept going anyway. It's tempting to think this moment is just about crossing the finish line, to see our achievements as simply the result of what was expected of us, as if success was an obligation, not something to celebrate. But this moment is also about the journey, the long nights in the library, the cold calls that made our stomachs drop, the group chats that turned panic into laughter, and the quiet, determined choice we made day after day to keep showing up. That's grit. It's the courage to continue that counts, and especially on the hard days. And in continuing, we grew, not as legal thinkers, but as people. We learned how to lead with empathy, how to wrestle with moral gray areas, how to speak clearly and listen carefully, how to advocate for each other and for others, and especially ourselves. We were tested in more ways than one, and yet we leave here not diminished, but sharpened, stronger, steadier, more sure of who we are and what we're capable of. We're dogs. And make no mistake, the world needs what we've built here. It needs our resilience, our curiosity, our compassion. It needs lawyers who don't just know the law, but who are willing to fight for justice and fairness and truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Because the world doesn't just need more lawyers, it needs better ones. And better doesn't mean perfect, it means principled, it means human, it means holding fast to the values we've cultivated here, even when we're under pressure, and especially then. And let's not forget, none of us did this alone. We did it with each other, with shared outlines and notes and late night pep talks, with one group me chat that turned into two, with a found up battered textbook by Drake, and with the unspoken understanding that we were all in this together. To my classmates, you've inspired me. Your resilience, your grit, your brilliance, your humor, your drive, being part of this class has made me better in ways I'm still realizing. And as we leave here, we carry more than a degree. We carry the relationships and lessons that will guide us into whatever comes next. And I want to leave you with a few words today. And first, those of the words of Dr. Maya Angelou, who said, "I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it." Law school changed us, but it did not reduce us. It refined us, and it revealed who we are. I also want to thank my classmates and colleagues for your kindness and friendship, your silliness during the hard times, and especially for our walks, Natalia, downtown during those short but sweet moments of free time. I hope I never have to call you for legal advice, but if I do, I know I'll be in good hands. Let's give the graduating class a round of applause. Now, before I close, it's my honor to introduce our next speaker, Law School Alumni Council President, Mr. Timothy Lee. Mr. Lee serves as the senior counsel at AT&T, where he leads major litigation matters for the company. He earned his undergraduate degree from the University of Virginia and graduated summa cum laude from the University of Georgia School of Law in 2010. He went on to clerk for Judge Lisa Godbey Wood in the Southern District of Georgia and Susan Black on the 11th Circuit. He later served as an assistant U.S. attorney in Atlanta and was a partner at King & Spalding, specializing in complex commercial litigation. As a proud graduate of UGA Law, Tim's career is an inspiring example of what's possible with hard work, humility, and a commitment to justice. He now lives in Atlanta with his wife and 3 young children, and we're truly honored to have him back. Please join me in welcoming President Lee.
Thanks very much, Alexa. It's such an honor for me to be here on behalf of the Law School Alumni Council to help celebrate the class of 2025. And this class really does have a lot to celebrate today. Think about all the things you've accomplished the past few years to get yourselves to this point. You got into this law school, which is no easy task, and then you conquered exams, you edited journals, you won mocks and moots, you conducted important research, you served others, and you've been hired for big, important jobs. As a member of the far less spectacular class of 2010, I think I can say on behalf of alums everywhere that we're incredibly proud of you and your accomplishments. We're grateful that you've made us look good by association, and we're relieved that we didn't have to compete with any of you. Now, as exceptional as all of you are, I know from my own law school experience that you probably didn't get where you are today all by yourselves. I bet you can think of a lot of people, including many in this room, who've helped you along the way. You've had friends and family love and support you, and at least tolerate you during exams. You've had world-class faculty and staff and 2 exceptional deans. You've had Kirby Smart win 39 games while you were in law school. And importantly, you've had each other. And I just want to talk about your classmates for a moment. One great thing about today is that even though you won't be going to school together much longer, your relationships with your classmates are actually just getting started. You'll celebrate promotions and big wins together. You'll vouch for each other. You'll toast weddings together. Your children might play soccer together. And you'll console each other after disappointments and difficult moments. And believe it or not, before you know it, the friend who used to always ask you for your Civ Pro notes might just become your elected representative. Your moot court partner might become a big-time partner at a prestigious law firm. And the guy you call your buddy might soon be called your honor. You'll support each other at every stage of your lives and careers, and I suspect you'll be even more grateful that this law school has brought all of you together. Now, there's one more group I want to mention, and that's the alumni of this law school. Whether you've really thought about it or not, the alums of this law school have also been part of your law school journey, and they've also helped you along the way. Some of these alums have taught you in the classroom. Some have mentored you. Some have even hired you. And many, many others have given their resources to help fund your scholarships, to support your faculty and clinics, and to help you receive the best value in all of higher education. In just a few moments, all of you will be joining the ranks of these alumni. And just like your relationships with each other, your relationships with this law school will actually just be getting started. I invite you as new alums to show up, to stay engaged, and to work with each other to support the law school. And believe it or not, before you know it, you and your classmates will be the ones teaching, mentoring, and hiring this law school students. You'll be the ones funding their scholarships, supporting faculty and clinics, and helping the next generation of this law school students receive the best value in all of higher education, just like you have. I really look forward to working with all of you in support of the law school and seeing what great things lie ahead for all of you. In the meantime, thank you for making the law school community so proud. Congratulations to you and your families and friends. And of course, welcome to the Law School Alumni Association.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Josh Horn, and I'm the Vice President of the Class of 2025. I want to start out by giving a shout out to Section Z because I know we're feeling left out. It's my honor today to introduce the Class of 2025 commencement speaker, the Honorable Judge R. Stan Baker. This is truly a full circle moment for our class, as Judge Baker was kind enough to speak at our orientation, offering us guidance at the start of this journey. Today, he is here to help us commemorate the end of our law school journey. Judge R. Stan Baker is the Chief United States District Judge for the Southern District of Georgia. Prior to his appointment as a district judge, Chief Judge Baker served the Southern District of Georgia as a United States Magistrate Judge. During his time on the bench, Judge Baker has served as president of the 11th Circuit District Judges Association and on several judicial associations, including the Judicial Council of the 11th Circuit and the United States Judicial Conference's Committee on the Administration of the Magistrate Judges System. Before joining the federal bench, Judge Baker practiced as a civil and criminal litigation attorney at the Jordan Firm on St. Simons Island, Georgia, and at Pryor, Daniel, and Wiltshire in Athens, Georgia. At the beginning of his legal career, Judge Baker served as a judicial law clerk to District Judge William T. Moore, Jr. in the Southern District of Georgia. Judge Baker received his undergraduate degree from Davidson College, where he served as captain of the varsity track and field team, played on the varsity football team, and led many campus organizations. Judge Baker then graduated magna cum laude from the University of Georgia School of Law, where he was active in the school's moot court and mock trial programs and was selected for the Order of the Barristers. Judge Baker is a native of Athens, and he lives in Savannah with his wife Crystal, who's also a graduate of the University of Georgia School of Law, and their two daughters, Anna Beth and Bella Grace. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Judge R. Stan Baker.
Thank you. Josh, thank you for that overly kind introduction. I'm glad that my friends and family who are in attendance today have not been given time for rebuttal. I appreciate that. I am worried, though, that Dean Shipley is going to speak after me. So I would request 5 minutes for rebuttal of your remarks. I'm not giving it today. 1,009 days ago, just a few blocks from here on North Campus, I stood before a lecture hall full of students. It was one of those steamy Athens August days where the heat follows you through the arch and the air was as wet as the water in Hurdy Fountain. Adding to the heat was a wave of anxiety that filled the room, because as those students entered that lecture hall, they were entering their first year at the University of Georgia School of Law. You might say it was page 1 of their UGA law story. You know, stories are a powerful thing. We live our lives in moments, we measure them in minutes, but we remember them and we retell them in stories. Us trial judges and lawyers, we love to tell a good story. Some of them are even true. So it was only natural that I began my remarks to those anxious students with an orientation story of my own. I told them that about 30 years before, just up Baxter Hill at Clark Central High School, I sat in an orientation room amongst 400 other new high school freshmen. Our beloved principal, Dr. Jimmy Willis, sat at the front of that auditorium, and he said in his light southern drawl, "Students, look to the student on your left. Now look to the student on your right. One of you will not make it to graduation." I told that sobering tale to those anxious law students because I wanted them to understand that for the first time in their theretofore successful lives, they faced a very real possibility of failure? Well, they're clearly gluttons for misery, because now, about 3 years later, on their invitation, I stand before them again, and they have not failed. Quite the contrary, they have written individual and collective success stories. Graduates, I'm so honored to bear witness to the bookends of your law school career. Last time you recall, you crossed the threshold to that lecture hall from 15 different countries, 27 different states, 88 different undergraduate institutions, and countless divergent life experiences. But today, you'll cross this stage as members of one family, holding a diploma from the finest school in the land. On such a momentous occasion, it's appropriate that we take a moment to savor what you all have accomplished. You've not only mastered an arduous law school curriculum, you've written scholarly articles in renowned legal journals, you've filled our school's trophy case with advocacy championships, you've represented clients across the state and the country, including in 2 federal courts of appeals. You've logged thousands of service learning hours, increasing access to justice for our communities who need it most. I think about all y'all have accomplished in the last 3 years, and 4 words come to mind. How about them dogs? We should also take a moment to thank all those who've played supporting roles in your Georgia law story. I echo the congratulations and the thanks that have been given to the family and the friends. For those of you who are in attendance today, thank you for your support over the last 1,009 days, and thank you for the support of these graduates through the trials and the triumphs that lie ahead. I see some parents that are a little bit worried about that future support line. Look, I mean emotional support at this time, right? Not financial support. Y'all are on your own, okay? We should also thank the teachers that made this day possible. From pre-K through secured transaction, thousands of educators have shaped not only your minds, but your character. I'd like to recognize a few of them specifically. As has been mentioned, Bo Rutledge's 10-year tenure as the dean of our law school closed this academic year. To mark Bo's successes, we could recount his statistical accomplishments, record class rankings, shattering fundraising goals, job placement statistics that are through the roof. As the kids like to say, he's got the receipts. But, graduates, you know that Bo's most enduring legacy cannot be measured in statistics. You know that you had a dean that not only knows your name, he knows your story. He knows your dream, and he wouldn't sleep until he'd done everything in his power to help you realize it. Bo, on behalf of everyone who loves this law school, thank you. Now, in Athens, better never rest. So, where one legend exits stage right, another legend in the making enters stage left. Dean Rodriguez, we are so honored that someone so talented, so dedicated, so beloved will lead our law school during our next chapter. Thank you. As has been mentioned, this year also marks chapter closings for 2 beloved professors. For a combined 85 years, Mike Wells and Dan Coonan have taught generations of law school students, and in the process have shaped the rule of law in our state and beyond. I was not fortunate enough to have Professor Wells as one of my professors, but I was a frequent student of Professor Coonan's. And I now count him not only as a brilliant mentor, but a dear friend. But I must recount for y'all a story of my first interaction with Professor Coonan that wasn't quite as warm as our relationship today. I was a first-year student in contracts. Early in the semester, I got that much-anticipated cold call. I gave what I thought was a brilliant answer to Professor Coonan's question. Indeed, when I was done, he said in his Wisconsin accent, "Excellent, Mr. Baker!" Man, I was so proud. Sat back, thought I nailed that one. Well, then he paced at the front of the classroom, kind of rolled up his sleeves. And what I heard next was a 4-word challenge that many of you have heard, and that's echoed through our law school's classrooms for the last 38 years. Now, argue against yourself. What? How could I argue against myself? I just gave the most brilliant answer in the history of 1L contracts. What? Well, I stammered and I stuttered, and finally, mercifully, Professor Coonan moved on. But what I've come to grasp in the decades since that I failed to realize that day is that hidden in those 4 words were innumerable values. I'd like to discuss a few of those with you today, because regardless of whether you had Professor Coonan as one of your professors, your Georgia law education has instilled these values in you, and these values will serve you well in the years ahead. The first hidden value in Coonan's challenge was echoed by the great Ted Lasso. Be curious and never stop learning. Perhaps given the setting, we should cite a higher authority. The late, great Vince Dooley, who with apologies to Coach Smart is still known around here as just Coach. His favorite quote was not Lombardi, it was Michelangelo. On his 87th birthday, Michelangelo said, "I'm still learning." Graduates, since you were 4 years old, you've gone to school where someone's told you what to read, what to study, in many ways, what to learn. Don't mistake the diploma you receive today as a license to end your education. Remain a student until you take your last breath. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but in our state, our country, our society, our world, we've got a lot of challenges. Our best tools to conquer those challenges won't be bots of artificial intelligence. They will be people of genuine intellectual curiosity. That's not just what we need you to be, that's what this law school has prepared you to be. The second nugget of wisdom hidden in Professor Coonan's challenge was sung by the pirate poet Jimmy Buffett. Don't ever forget that you just might wind up being wrong. I know, this is really hard advice for us lawyers to take. Because after all, somebody, somewhere along the line, possibly somebody who's in this room, told you, you know what? You should go to law school because you're so good at convincing everybody that you're right. I can relate. My friends that I played high school basketball with, or rather pickup basketball with growing up, I wasn't good enough to play in high school, pickup basketball with growing up, like to say that what I lacked in height, I made up for in rhetoric. I could argue a call with the best of them, still can, okay? But the mark of a good lawyer, a great lawyer, is the one who can stand up for what she knows to be right, while being willing to acknowledge that what she thinks may be wrong. Have the courage of your convictions, but with the humility to admit your own fallibility. The best trial lawyer that I ever worked with began his trial preparation not by drafting his opening statement or even his closing argument. He drafted the closing argument he would give if he was the lawyer for the other side. It obviously provided him with a strategic advantage because he knew the weaknesses of his case that he needed to buttress against during the trial. But more importantly, seeing the scene from the other side, putting himself in somebody else's shoes, imbued him with civility, not just in his practice, but in his life. The incivility that dominates our public discourse is largely born of misplaced certainty. We remain so siloed in our own echo chambers that we become convinced in the righteousness and the perfection of our own thoughts. Then when we finally encounter somebody who thinks differently than us, we scoff at them and dismiss them rather than listening to them. But graduates, you as lawyers who've been trained in the art of arguing against yourself, you have the ability, indeed the unique responsibility, to push against this trend. I think that's why President Lincoln said that as a peacemaker, a lawyer has a superior opportunity of being a good man. I would add, and a good woman. Now, the third nugget of wisdom, and the last that I'll discuss with you, that was hidden in Professor Kunin's challenge was the last word of that challenge: yourself. The world does not revolve around you. You see, when I gave that initial answer to Kunin's question, I was more concerned about the impression that I was making than the substance that I was giving. I thought I was the whole point. But by challenging me not to argue against my answer, but against myself, he gently knocked on that challenge, pushed against it a little bit, and planted the idea in my head, you know what? Maybe this whole thing's not just about me. The idea that we should live our lives in service to others and not ourselves is not a novel one. After all, it's the motto of the Georgia colony adopted by General Oglethorpe and the other founders in the 1730s, non sibi sed alis. But as lawyers, the idea that our lives should be about others shouldn't be just Latin words. They shouldn't just be a motto. It shouldn't just be something that we do some of the time. It should be who we are all of the time. It should define us in our big thoughts, in our big decisions, in our daily walk, in our small decisions. To drive this point home, please indulge me as I tell you one more story. This one about a non-lawyer. There was a single mom in the 1970s in a small southern college town, the time when it was difficult to be a female in the workplace, to say the least. She had 4 kids and about as many jobs to support them. And she worked incredibly hard and ended up becoming a very talented salesperson. With that development came lucrative job offers to go to bigger cities, make more money. But she rejected them. She knew that the right thing to do by her community, by that small town, and by those kids was to stay put and keep working hard. Then, just as her youngest son finally graduated high school and it was time to cash in on one of those lucrative job offers, she instead went into public service. She became the second employee of a fledgling effort to build a community center. People told her that she was crazy. The community center would never be built, and if it did, it was going to fail. Well, the community center was built. And she envisioned a place not just that could provide for celebrations, community connections, perhaps more importantly, given the station she was at, she envisioned a place that could provide careers for people in tight spots, just like she has been. Well, then the community center wasn't just built, it succeeded. It expanded, and expanded again. And she has now entered her much-deserved retirement. But today, she came back to that community center. She came back for a graduation ceremony, the very type of celebration that she envisioned decades ago. She came back to watch her son deliver this commencement address. So graduates, in closing, let me emulate, not imitate this time, let me emulate Professor Coonan. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to give you a challenge. What do you want your story to be? Write a story worth retelling. Write a story you can be proud of. Write a story that's true to your Georgia law values. Write a story where you have passion for the law, but the law is not your passion. Write a story where, to paraphrase Dr. Willis, you can be seen looking out for the person on your left and the person on your right. When they tell your tale, let them tell true stories. Stories of service to your God, service to your country, service to your family, service to your community, service to the broader world you will leave behind. Because if the last 1,009 pages are any indication of the chapters that lie ahead, we will be telling and retelling the stories of the 2025 graduating class of the University of Georgia School of Law for years to come. Congratulations. God bless each and every one of you, and go Dogs.
Thank you, Judge Baker, for coming home to Athens, recognizing your mother there in the front row. It was an incredible talk. I spoke to Judge Baker a little bit beforehand, and I've known Stan for a long time. And I said, who was your graduation speaker 21 years ago? Because I don't remember. I was at that graduation. We were outside the law school sweltering in the heat, in May of 2004. And Stan said right away it was Leah Ward Sears, the Chief Justice of the Georgia Supreme Court. And I bet all of you will remember that Stan Baker was your graduation speaker 20 plus years from now. So fantastic job, Judge Baker. Judge Baker gave me a brief introduction at the beginning. I am David Shipley. I've been a professor here since 1998, and I've been a law professor since 1977. 40 plus years. Yes, I am a senior citizen and a senior member of this faculty. And one of the great rewards of being teaching for 40 plus years is celebrating the success of your former students. And like Stan Baker, and he is still Stan to me. 20 plus years ago, he took my advice about, gave me a call when he was an applicant. Should I take a gap year? I did K through JD and came out of law school at the age of 24. And I thought to myself, it's tough to do a gap year once you have a JD. So I said, yeah, take that gap year. And Stan did it. He worked at a dude ranch in Montana for a year or so. And then, came back to Georgia for law school. You've heard about his achievements. It's obvious he was a star in our advocacy program, moot court and mock trial. And he took a class from me in the spring of '03. It was an intellectual property seminar, and I remember what he wrote about. His topic was the ongoing attack on the logo and name of the NFL franchise in Washington, D.C., the Redskins. And Stan did a great job on that paper. I recall he got an A, but just to make sure, I contacted our registrar to verify that he did get an A from me. And she says, I can't find a Stan Baker. And I said, look up Raymond Stanley Baker. And she did find Stan's record and confirmed he got an A from me. So did I know Stan was going to become a federal judge? No. Am I surprised that he became a federal judge? No. He was a great student, and I'm pleased we've kept in touch for all these years since you graduated. And I'm using this to illustrate that my connection with our speaker is not atypical, it's not extraordinary, it's not unique. You heard him describe Dan Coonan, you heard him describe Bo Rutledge, and my colleagues on the faculty are just like that. We care deeply about our students. We get to know our students. We take our teaching really seriously. We work hard at it, and my colleagues on the faculty are superb at their craft. They're not just great teachers and great role models and great mentors, but they are highly regarded scholars, nationally and internationally, and great reputations of their fields of expertise. And I would like my colleagues to stand and be recognized. My friends and colleagues on the law school faculty. Thank you for your service to the school. Thank you for teaching the class of 2025. You played a huge role in their success. And also thank you for audience for recognizing us in the role we had in teaching our graduates. Allow me to now explain the order of service, what is going to be happening from here on out, how the degrees will be presented. Select members of the faculty are going to play another important part in the education of this class. We have a tradition of faculty reading the graduates' names. And 3 sets of degree candidates will be crossing the stage. Initially, the first presenter will be Professor Allison Hale, the faculty advisor for the law school's Master in the Study of Law program. She'll be reading the names of our MSL candidates. She will be followed by Christopher Bruner, the Stembler Family Distinguished Professor of Business Law and faculty co-director of the Dean Rusk International Law Center. He will read the names of the students from around the world who are earning their Master of Law degrees, the LLM, from the University of Georgia. Finally, Professors John Meixner and Peter B. Bo Rutledge will be reading the names of our Juris Doctorate candidates. And Bo and John were selected by the class of 2025 to be the faculty marshals. And the class of 2025 also selected John for the Ron Ellington Award for Outstanding Teaching, and they also selected Bo Rutledge for the O'Byrne Award for Furthering Student-Faculty Relations. Time for me to turn things back over to Dean Rodriguez.
Members of the class of 2025, it's time for the conferring of degrees. Provost Hu, on behalf of the faculty of the University of Georgia School of Law, I am pleased to introduce the candidates for the degrees of Master in the Study of Law, Master of Laws, and Juris Doctorate. Will the candidates please rise?
Good morning, faculty, staff, family members, and friends. thank you all for being here. Members of the class of 2025, today marks the successful conclusion of your studies at the University of Georgia. I congratulate all of you on this milestone achievement. I hope you will stay connected to the faculty and friends who have supported you during your journey. You are receiving a degree from one of the nation's top public law schools. I encourage you to use your knowledge and talent to benefit individuals, communities, and society as a whole. It is my great honor now to officially confer the degree for which you have worked so hard for. By the authority granted to me by the President of the University of Georgia and the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, I now confer you the degree of Master in the Study of Law, Master of Laws, or Juris Doctor, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Congratulations. Now you may be seated.
Okay, it's time. We will be honoring every graduate by announcing each name, whether or not the graduate is present at today's ceremony. Now, starting with our graduates seated in the first row, please follow the directions of the row marshals. As your name is called, please cross the stage and accept congratulations from me, Judge Baker, Provost Hu, and Tim Lee. When that row is complete, the next row may follow.
Kelly A. Boner. Davis B. Bryson. Spencer A. Johnston. Nathaniel Stokes. Shuntoria Wallace.
Danish Ali. Ana Luisa Couto do Nascimento. Assis José Couto do Nascimento. Sara Dorbahani. Michael Modupe Falea. Nitu James. Irakli Kakubava. Bekir Karabegmas. Paria Karamatcha. Fatime Kui. Samuel Guo. Dmitry Liasovich. Rama Krishna Ruthwick Halapu. Zulma I. Perez. Carolina Ruiz. Christian M. Schneider. Fabienne Thaler. João Felipe Vila do Miu.
Mona E. Aboud. Armin R. Abidi. Saya A. Abney. Emily E. Adams. Ikram N. Ali Mohammed. Claire F. Anderson. Amelia Patrick Arant. Braxton J. Ard. Caden P. Askew. Kira Ball. Caitlin M. Banks. Paige M. Batten. Clay T. M. Bevan. W. Elliott Beckham. Samantha E. Bador. Robert A. Bellin. Logan S. Berg. Rachel Bissett. Jacob M. Blott. Tia M. Brown. John Buckaloo. Kaylee F. Buckley. Samantha Caldwell. Gracie Caudell. Sophie H. Chung. Jack A. Kofer. Joseph M. Colley. Jessica E. Cooper. Gloria M. Correa Polo. Simon E. Corrigan. Selena A. Cotton. Addison M. Catone. Thomas P. Crabb. Alexandria D. Cross. Denite R. Daniel. Adesh Dasani. H. Cullen Davis, Jr. Michael Devlin. Nina T. Dickerson. Zoe O. Elledge. Talia V. Irazzo. Claire E. Estrada. Elizabeth J. Ferguson. Madeline L. Foster. Jasmine C. Farin. Christian N. Futch. Margaret A. Galvin. Mahmoud Gamal. Somya Gangashetty. Graham Garvin. Madison Gear. Abby Jerome. Nikhil R. Gianani. Daisy Gonzalez. Cameron F. Goodman. Anna E. Gowan. Caleb D. Graham. Madison L. Graham. Sawyer Gruntkowski. William B. Guthrie. Sierra Hamilton. Devin N. Hammock. Jessica F. Hammerson. C. Elizabeth Hammond. David T. Harris. Lauren R. Harder. Benjamin T. Hemby. Samaria I. Henry. Alexa G. Hernandez. Kyle J. Hill. Brittany D. Hodges. William Hoover. Joshua L. Horn. Amanda Horton. Brianna L. Howard. Madison E. Howard. David J. Howell. Jordan T. Jackson. Sua Jang. Bailey K. Jedon. Patrick B. Johnson. Araya C. Jones. Eleanor M. Jones. Megan R. Jones. Drake Jones.
Olya Kalyuzhna. Sumi Cass. Charles A. Kelly. Na Yon Kim. Emery D. Kincaid. Mitchell A. King. Alexander Klein. Julia M. Kresmensky. E. Grace Lane. Romario A. Lee. Catherine A. Lewis. Michael Lomax. Christian Y. Louis Jacques. Elizabeth G. Love. Jalen A. Marchand. A. Carolina Mares. Matthew L. McGarren. Megan G. McGoldrick. Garfield A. McIntyre, Jr. Matthew J. McCaig. Nicodemus Rhoda Boston McKittrick. Aaron Meyerhofer. Andrew Miller. Cole W. Miller. Eamon A. Mystery. Anna L. Mobley Hips. Brantley Vickery Moore. Dean M. Monaster. Natalia D. Moody. Caleb Z. Morris. Colin B. Mowry. Aaron M. Nally. Kyle R. Nelson. Nicholas B. Nelson. Sean W. O'Halloran. John A. Omotunde. Yaritzi S. Ortiga. Mahi K. Patel. Andrew B. Peacock. Dante Pellegrino. Delta R. Pennington. Chelsea M. Perry. Genevieve L. Pfister. Zachary D. Poppy. Caden S. Pruitt. Sarah E. Quarles. Allison M. Richards. William S. Riley. Corey A. Robinson. Brennan A. Rose. Dylan A. Rose. Michael S. Rowe. Ethan D. Rudman. Vladislav Rudzinski. Hannah N. Reininger. Michael S. Rowe. Tanner P. Samples. Autumn J. Sanford. Abigail B. Sawyer. Anderson B. Scott. Latanya A. Shand. Hannah M. Silvers. Jennifer A. Sluka. Lindsay M. Smith. Patrick D. Smith. Presley C. Sneed. Benjamin W. Sowell. Taylor L. Stabline. Laura Starling. S. Trent Swinehart, Jr. Aubrey C. Tedford. Bradley M. Thomas. Wesley E. Tillman. Tiffany G. Torsha. Emily E. Tracy. Quillen M. Vaughn. Daniel R. Vaughn. Jacob W. Walker Fairchild. Caitlin E. Watson. Isabella J. White. Joseph P. Will. Daniel T. Witcher. Casey E. Wofford. Emily C. Wood. Jacob W. Wood.
This one's on. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the UGA School of Law Class of 2025. We really have a lot to celebrate. So I'm going to give some stage directions. Listen closely, and then we can continue the celebration outside. Next, the platform party will exit the stage when the music begins. After the platform party, the marshals, then the faculty, and then the graduates will follow the marshals, recessing row by row, starting with with the left back row first. Following your recess, you may exit the Classic Center to join your guests outside. Family and friends, please remain in your seats until the graduates have exited. Then proceed to your nearest exit to meet your graduates outside to take as many photos as you would like. Once more, let's give a round of applause for the University of Georgia School of Law, class of 2020.
Thank you.